another episode of Cowboy Nation with live with your boy KJ is in the house representing for them boys. You know we won. It was an ugly win, a very ugly win. Dare I say, very, very, very ugly win, but it's a win. So, with that said, let's talk about what went right, what went wrong, and what we can do to improve against. Oh, this week we're not playing anybody. So we got a bye week coming up. So yay! We have this bye week coming up. And when we come back, we're going to have 2 weeks after we come back, we'll be facing the Eagles. That's really going to be a challenge for us right there. As I know, because they're picking up, as I heard today, that they're picking up Julio Jones. So, yeah. Stephon Gilmore, Bland, I need y'all to step it up. I'm going to need y'all to step it up. Take this week, relax, do what you need to do to get your mindset, and let's get into it, people. All right, now, let's talk about some of the things about the offense. What did the offense do? I wasn't very impressed. I'm going to say I'm glad we held our own. But the Chargers are a mediocre team, and it was a battle for us. So, I mean, that kind of doesn't really set a standard for us or for me. I know I thought we were better than that. I thought we would at least win by 10 points or something like that. But, to be that close in this game, I thought it was not. It's just an ugly win. It was an ugly win. It's a win, but it was an ugly win. And had not Micah Parsons and Stephon Gilmore did what they did at the very end, it could be a very different show today, is all I'm saying. So with that said, the offense, at best, I want to give them a C- or a D+. I'm in that range because I was impressed with Dak and his running. I mentioned it earlier before in another episode. I don't think Dak has I don't think he has that confidence to run like he used to run. And who can blame him? His ankle was just dangling in that game with I think it was with the Giants when it broke. So I kind of get that, and I understand the psychological warfare that he might be experiencing with that. But he did run, he scored, and actually, I think he had more rushing yards. Let me just pull that up right quick. More rushing yards than anybody on the team. So, with that said, kudos to you, Dak. Kudos to you. I'm giving you that love. So, I can't. Yeah, Dak had 40 yards, and Pollard had 30. Pollard had 15 carries for 30 yards. Dak had 7 for 40. So he averaged 5.7 yards. So I'm impressed with that. But the big story for me was getting the ball to CeeDee Lamb. Finally, CeeDee was eating them up, man. You got to get the ball to CeeDee. And another shout out for, let me give CeeDee some love first. CeeDee was coming across, was eating them up. But I also got to give love to Brandon. Brandon Cooks showed up and did his thing. I was impressed with his play. I hadn't seen much of him this season, so it was just like, why did we pick him up? Another Stephon Gilmore type of deal was going on in my mind. The narrative was being painted like, okay. But he showed up today, and I was totally impressed with what he did. He connected. Him and Dak connected. And that was impressive for me. Those were some of the impressive things on the offense, the receivers. Dak's running. While it wasn't what he used to do, I'm impressed that he's moving toward that to get back to that state of mind when he first came into the league. I'm still not sold on us because the Chargers they are a mediocre team at best, is all I can say. And that was a tough win. That was an ugly win, but we won. But it was tough, It wasn't like when we beat up on the Giants or when San Fran beat up on us. It was an ugly win, which I thought we had more. We do have. I want to say we do have more talent, but I thought we had more prowess. more. I thought we would be attacking more, and that the Chargers would be folding a little more. I thought we win by about 10 points, 10, 17 points or something like that. Because we were playing with a quarterback with a broke finger too. You know, this guy he had heart. I got to give it up for Justin Herbert. He showed heart and he showed a lot of fight, and it is what it is. It ended the way it ended, and that's that. But that was an ugly, tough win for us, and I can't even I can't get happy about it because it's like, okay, is this our real Cowboy team? Who, you know what I mean? Is this where we are, this mediocre? And I can't get happy about it. So with that said, I just want to say I got to check these things to see who's on Facebook right now with us watching live. So y'all excuse me 1 minute, please. But with that said, I just gotta say that it's not impressive. It wasn't an impressive win. It didn't really showcase any of the talents that people are always saying that we have. You know, it's not. It didn't showcase any of that until the end. Until the end, I guess you can say it did. You know, Micah Parsons finally got through, and he got through two people on that sack. And it was funny because Troy Aikman was just saying, and we haven't heard much about Micah Parsons tonight, and he couldn't even finish getting a sentence out of his mouth. And Herbert was on the ground. So kudos to Micah. Let's give Micah some love too, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So now, the game was ugly. It was a battle in the trenches. I didn't know the Chargers. Are the Chargers really that tough? You tell me. Are the Chargers that tough, or do are we not as good as they project us to be? Because that was not a pretty game right there. That was definitely not a pretty game. So I just want to leave that out to you, all the viewing audience out there. If you could leave a comment in the Mama G is watching. Them men running up and down the field in them tight pants, Mama G. That's what you say, right? Oh, Tally Wifey's watching. I think I'll get a phone call from her tonight. Hopefully, she'll call in and give me her narrative about this game. I'm glad we won. It wasn't a pretty win, but I'm glad we won. And I question if we can even hang with Philadelphia. I think we got the Rams when we come back. That's going to be interesting. It's like a mediocre team. It's looking like that 8-8 season to me, you know, and that's just based on we started strong, but we were being some bullies, of course. But this game, I thought it would be more dominating for us, coming back with a vengeance from such a big loss to San Francisco like it was. But we really had to dig our heels in the turf, so to speak, and really dig in to win this one. And that causes some alarms for me because I don't consider the Chargers an elite team. Do you? Let me know in the comments what you think. If you think the Tal is saying the defense was horrible, call on in, Tal, so we can hear what you got to say. And let's get your perspective on it. Call on in and let's get your perspective on this game because the defense was horrible. But I got to say for the record, Tal, that this was the most pressure that Herbert had on him all season. 40, I think it's something like 47%. He was just being rushed, knocked down, and everything all the time. And this was his toughest defense that he had to go up against, as the NFL analyst would say. That's what they've been saying all day anyway. But anyway, that's another story. We didn't look like our first game, and we didn't look like our third game, I think it was. We didn't look like any of those games. Our defense didn't look like any of those games until Micah did what he did at the very end in the last quarter with what, 2:30 to go, something like that. And it was just ugly. Y'all let me know what y'all thoughts are. This game was so ugly that what's those dirty dozen jokes? Give me one. Somebody give me one. This game was so ugly that when mm, Rice saw it, the white fell off the rice, whatever. I don't know. But analysts have to be every game. She says analysts have to have a narrative for every game, so don't believe the hype. Yeah, they hype Dallas up a lot. Dallas is a commodity. It's a business. It's more of a business than anything, and Jerry Jones made that happen. So uh, we know that. We know that. But that was an ugly game. It was an ugly game. Our defense, while they made Justin Herbert run and do all that, they only sacked him once. That was only the one sack that Micah did in the end. So, tell me your thoughts. What do you think about our defense? Is it what Pittsburgh used to be, the steel curtain, or is it not? Tell me some of your thoughts. We have my boy, my brother from another mother coming in to talk about, these Cowboys. So we're going to bring him in right quick and see what he has to say. I'm sure he's got something. You know what? Just come on in, Big Tiz. Come on in, Big Tiz. You coming in? Big Tiz. Y'all give it up for Big Tiz, y'all. What's up, Big Tiz? How are you today? Can you hear me?
Oh, let me see. Am I in?
Yeah, you're in. You're live, brother.
Okay.
You are
Oh,
live.
sorry. I'm trying to move my key.
Okay.
There I go. There I go.
There you go. Let me get you. Let
Yeah.
me get
Can
you
you hear
some.
me?
Yeah. Can you hear me now? I'm going to zoom you in.
Yeah.
Yep, I hear you. You're good. Let me give you some love
Hey,
back
give me
there.
1 second. I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna get off my.
Hold on.
I'm
Give
gonna
you
get
some
off my
love.
Wi-Fi.
Okay.
I'm gonna get off my Wi-Fi.
He's going to get off his Wi-Fi, ladies and gentlemen, but he'll be back. I'm sure he has some interesting perspective to say about the Cowboys' win against the Chargers. And if you didn't catch him on Steeler Nation Live, they were off this week. So there's no talk about the Steelers this week, There's no talking about them. So what we're going to do is wait for him to come back in and get his perspective. And I wanted to ask Miss Tally Hodge Thompson about the hype she's talking about in the comments. Analysts have their own narrative. Can you elaborate on that a little more for me? You can leave it down in the comments or you can call in. It doesn't matter to me one way or the other. Let's get some perspectives on this game. You ready, Tiz? We're going to get some big perspective on this game and do what we do best. There he is. Tiz is calling back. And we have a caller. Who's calling?
Hello.
Hey, what's going on, wifey?
What's going on?
How are you?
I'm good.
You're good. Thanks for calling in. I know you always have a perspective on these games, so tell me some of your thoughts about what was going on with the Cowboys against the Chargers.
Well, first of all, it was not a good game. I think we won only because of the last two plays last night.
I agree.
With Gilmore is horrible. Your boy number 13, Gallup is horrible. He needs to change jerseys. If you want to wear 10, 13, or 22, you need to be better than that.
Hold on 1 second. For all my Facebook audience out there, just know that 13, that's her day she was born on. So it was so funny last night. She just looked at him and was like, oh, he need to come up out of that jersey.
Absolutely.
So
Gallup was
like,
horrible.
wow.
Gilmore was horrible. Like I say, he had the interception at the end. Okay, great. That's good. He did one good thing. That's good. Mike Parsons had the sack at the end. Great. But the defense was horrible. They had all of those turnovers. And, it was just a lot of different things that we had all the – I mean, I thought the referees were working for the Chargers or something.
With
I
all
was
the
like, every
calls
time
we
we
were
turned
getting.
over, oh my gosh, we had call after call after call after call after call on the defense
Yeah,
over and over and over and
it,
over and over and
it
over.
did look like that.
So it was horrible. I mean, but they did it to themselves. It's not like they weren't calling it right. I mean, they were just doing crazy things. But anyway, at the end of the day, it wasn't a good game. Yeah, we won. Okay, great. But at the end of the day, I think, Dak did do some things that I said he should be doing, which is running more. He still looks scared. He did make some great passes in the game. And he got to Cooks and he got to CeeDee Lamb. But again, he's only using two wide receivers, right? Because the
Yeah,
rest of them act like they don't know how to catch the ball.
yeah,
Don't know why they're on an NFL team when you can't catch the ball, but they act like they couldn't catch the ball. So Cooks did his thing. CeeDee Lamb did his thing. I think they were great. But I mean, the sad thing is when you can only name a couple players off of a team, that means the whole team wasn't in it to win it. So like you should be able to have a round robin, right? Like I mean, where was the tight end last night?
yeah.
Like
Good
I
question.
don't remember his name being called not one time.
Good
Like
question.
not at all, right? Like you only heard a very few players be called last night, right? If it's a team sport, you should hear more players be called, right?
Yeah,
Pollard, he did what he could do. They got to use the other running backs so that Pollard gets the break, so that he can come in with the spurts. They can't use him like they use him constantly the whole time. I mean, think about it. Pollard was explosive when he came in behind Zeke. So the reality is, let him come in behind some of the other players sometimes. So let Dowd will come in, get his little spurt. The other little dude that came in, those
Waller.
little short dudes, they're pretty fast, man. Let him come in and then give Pollard a break so he can come in and be explosive. But they're watching for him. They're
Yeah,
going to be playing for him just like they were playing for Zeke. And the reality is that he is a great running back. So but he got a great run last night. That was great. But at the end of the day, I mean, they're not using him the way they should be using him. So, like I said, the game was okay. It wasn't a great game from my perspective.
it was ugly.
Um, it literally it was. I,
It
I
was
think I
ugly.
slept a whole quarter, just because it was just not that good. And I think the Chargers scored 3 points during that whole quarter because they had the ball like 12 minutes and 30 some seconds. Which was I'm glad I took a nap during that time because like I would have been just bored out of my mind. But at the end of the day, when you were talking about the analysts were saying that was the most pressure that their quarterback was under, analysts have to have a narrative. That they're on TV to get paid, so they're gonna always come up with all these stats, all of these numbers, whether they really mean anything or not. So okay, whatever. You're saying that that was the most pressure he's been under. Of course, you can say that. The next game he plays, they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, that was the most pressure he's ever been under since the Cowboys. You know what? He had to run 12 times. They always come up with a narrative. So I could care less about what the analysts say, to be honest with you.
Gotcha. I got you.
I see what I see.
Yeah, makes sense to me. Makes sense to
So
me. Makes
yeah,
sense to me. So
yeah.
we have Big Tiz came in. Can you hear us, Big Tiz? I think you're muted. No, we can't hear you. Are you muted? No. Can you sign out and come back in? You want to try that? Okay. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. That was Big Tiz from Steeler Nation Live. But Tal, you brought up some interesting points. You really did. Um, you brought up some very interesting points. I was just reading some of the comments. People talking about the 49ers and things like that. Why is this not? He is not. He's here, ladies and gentlemen. He is here. Big Tiz. You're. Oh, okay.
He's
I
still
got it.
muted.
Yeah, I see him. I get it now. Yep. Can you hear us now, Big Tiz? But we can't hear you still.
That's that Steeler microphone. That's the reason why you can't
That's what
hear.
it is. This Pittsburgh
That's what it
Steelers.
is. If he try and change to the good side over here,
The silver and blue. Tell him, babe.
yeah, he
Tell him
might be
come to
he
that
might be
silver
able
and
to hear.
blue.
You might be able to hear something. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't. I Big Tiz, can you hear us? He can hear us, but we can't hear him. Let me try him up here. See if I can get him a
You want
solo.
me? You want me to drop off? See if you can bring him in.
Uh, no,
I can
you're
drop off. See if
good.
you
You're good. Or yeah, let me see. Let me see if that's what it. Let me
can.
see.
Okay, let
I
me
don't
let me
think
go
that
ahead.
should
I'll
be a
drop off.
problem, but okay,
I'll drop off. Okay.
okay. That was my wife Tally, wifey Hodge, who has her perspective on the game, and she gave some good insight about what's the guy Gallup. Where did he gallop to, or where did he gallop from? I don't know. I don't know, but something is going on because I can't get Big Tiz in. Maybe he's allergic to the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know what it is. Can you hear us, Big Tiz? Say you can hear us. Yeah. Uh, let's see if I can get you by yourself. I'm not. I really want to hear what you got to say because you always bring some drama. You know, you always bring some drama. Let's see. That's me. Okay, he's coming in again, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what. I'm not sure. I don't. I can't. I can't hear you, bro. Uh, is your mic on? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now you're coming in. All right.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. All right. Sorry about that, people. It's a little technical difficulty, but we're back. We're live with Cowboy Nation Live, and we got none other than Big Tiz here from Steeler Nation Live. Even though they didn't have a game this week, guess what? He's here repping with CNL,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
So Big Tiz, we just have Tally Wifey on, man, and she gave some interesting perspectives about everything as a whole. And I just gotta say, what she said speaks truth. You know, Gallup didn't do anything. Didn't do it.
Well, I think a lot of the problem, like I told you before, I think a lot of the problem that lies with the Cowboys is the quarterback situation. And now you got a quarterback that's really kind of, I feel, is playing for his life or his livelihood now, because I think a lot of Cowboy fans out there are dismayed about the way that your Dak has been playing. Just like in Pittsburgh, a lot of us are dismayed at the way that Kenny Pickett's been playing. But Dak has showed a lot of flashes, but Dak has also showed a lot of disappointments.
Yeah.
And I
I,
and I
and
feel
they
I feel Cowboy fans because I see where you're coming from. It's like, what do you do? Do you start this young? Do you start this young rookie? But if you start that young rookie, you basically ended Dak's career in Dallas. So that's the main issue. Is like, what are you guys going to do with that?
I
And
think I think when they had that opportunity against San Francisco to bring him in, McCarthy should have just brought him in. You know, if we have another game like that, bring in Trey Lance. That's what I say. And I'm sure I love my Cowboys, but uh, I honestly in my heart, I think they're gonna have another game like that against the Eagles. And the Eagles just picked up Julio Jones today. Are you kidding me?
ooh,
They just picked up Julio Jones today.
dang,
I know. There's an arsenal of weaponry over there, and Jalen Hurts, he's a threat with his feet as well. You know,
Right,
you
right.
know, and Dak, he did show flashes of some magnificence, but it's I'm not convinced. I'm not. I'm a Cowboy diehard. I've been born in the '60s. Dallas came out in the '60s. I've been a fan ever since. I was a little tyke. I'm just saying. And but more than that, I speak truth. I speak what I see. And Dak, while it was a win yesterday, it was not impressive at all. I was thinking we'd win at least by 10, 17 points, something like that. But to go down to the wire and they almost win. Had not
Yeah.
been for Michael Parsons and because our defense, while they was putting pressure on them, we only got one sack on them. You know what I mean? That's the most
Wow.
he ran around, the most pressure he's been under, according to the NFL analysts. But it don't mean nothing if you're not getting the sacks or interceptions or fumbles or anything. I mean, he's under duress, but he's still competing with Dak at that level with a broken finger.
Well,
Might I add?
let me ask you this. Let me ask you, all you old Cowboy fans here on Cowboy Nation Live, what what should they do? Should you go ahead and say, you know what? Let's just bite the bullet and move away from Dak now. I mean, put this rookie in. Let this rookie learn. Let him try to learn. But
Well,
in doing that,
you trying to say just scratch our season this season? Is that what you trying to say?
that's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking.
Nah, I can't say scratch the season. I,
You guys are
I we 4-2 now, 4-2, and we're 66%. We could have been 50%. You know what I mean? But that
right,
win doesn't give hope. I mean, a lot has to happen. A lot of games have to be won. I'm thinking like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games in a row. They have to win to get that confidence back to where it was. You know what I mean? And you got to beat
right.
teams that mean something. You can't be competing. You putting your all in everything with a mediocre team. That doesn't look good at all. That
Let me ask you a quick question too, as well.
yes.
I want to know from Cowboy too. What What do you think the Jerry Jones influence has done to the Cowboys? You think it was a positive one or a
No.
negative one? Now, me looking on the outside, being a
No.
Steeler fan. Now,
I
being a Steeler, all of our,
mhm.
all of our, when they report and they talk to the Steelers, they don't go to our front office and talk to the owners or whatever. They talk to Tomlin, get the information there. They talk to our coaches, get information there. You guys, like I've always said to you, you know, they go right over the coach's head and they go right to the owner.
To the owner. Yeah. And that right there is it's I've always said it. Even when he got rid of last week. Where are you, Big Tiz? Are you still there? Yeah. A couple weeks back,
Yeah,
I spoke on it that he needs to stay out of the locker room first and foremost. We all know that he we could have been a '90s dynasty. We could have won about 4 or 5 Super Bowls in the '90s, maybe even 6, 7. I'm just go there. But he got rid of. How do you get rid of the guy who's getting you there? And it's an ego thing, and he doesn't even know he's hurting his own self, even though the brand, it's about making the money. It's bigger than that. He's doing a great job with the brand and everything, but as far as the wins, I mean, the Dallas is becoming a joke to everybody. I got a post the other day from my sister, a black and white photo from the '50s, talking about this is the last time Dallas was in the playoffs or a Super Bowl. It's becoming a running theme, a joke. It's almost 30 years, and it's becoming a. That's what it's going to become. That's what people are going to remember more so than the brand and all of that. The brand is eventually going to fade away. I mean, a star is a star. It's been a star all his life, but it's like
right.
it's becoming a mockery. You know, how about them Cowboys? Turns into how about them Cowboys? See the
Yeah.
narrative? And the game last night was ugly. The game last night was ugly, ugly, ugly. And for us to have to battle so hard to win that, I question the Eagles when we play the Eagles. I question who are some of the other teams we got this year. Uh, there are a few now that I didn't question at the beginning of the season that I do question now. You know, and
Right.
it's like, is this gonna be? It's becoming a running joke. People are, and I don't know if he sees that. I don't think Jerry Jones sees that. That he's turning it into like, while it's the business side, of course, is immaculate. You know what I mean? People are repping, but as far as who the Cowboys are, oh yeah, they were this back then, but who are they now? People still buying jerseys and stuff, but it, that all of that's gonna die down once that whole consciousness shift and people like they ain't nothing. It's gonna paint a, you know what I mean? It's gonna paint
Oh, yeah.
maybe years. It's gonna be years, but if we don't do anything and win a Super Bowl and this year, it's gonna be ugly. So I think he should definitely hire the people who he's gonna hire. Stay out the locker room, dude. I don't.
Yeah.
If you're giving your players, how can your players respect their coach if they can come just go over their coach and come to you? You know, and I get the whole hierarchy thing. People have their things or whatever, but it's if you got somebody in place to take your team somewhere, I if you're gonna do it yourself, get out there and do it yourself. That's what I say. If you're gonna be out there in the locker room, do everything. Don't just come in there when you want to come in there. Go to the meetings with your players. Go to do this with your players. Have your practices. Be at the practices. Do all of that. Don't just come in there and mess up the chemistry that's going on. So definitely,
Yeah.
I think.
Because
Go
looking
ahead.
from the outside, I think his hand is a little too heavy at times. Because he was so heavily involved with any coach I have. The Jimmy Johnson situation. You go to who's the other guy that you had? Jason Garrett.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
you know,
how long was he an interim coach before? He was just an interim coach because it's just like you gonna do what I say do. Everybody knew
yeah,
that, and we was 8-8. How many times during that and I don't know if he sees that or gets it, but it's just like, dude. I mean, what do you want? Do you want to play football? What do you want? I remember hearing him saying that with the Jimmy Johnson thing that he wanted to be a part of what's going on in the locker room, but it's not wanting to be a part of it. You want to control what's going on in the locker
yeah,
room.
oh
If
yeah,
you want to
oh
be
yeah,
a part of it, then you more than likely, I would think, if you're doing all this, why don't you have these guys to your house? Go out to dinner with them, do stuff like that. Go to their family functions, their family picnics. You know what I mean? If that's what it's about,
I
but
agree.
I don't know. That's what I think anyway. And I'm a Cowboys diehard. I love the Cowboys. I didn't care how they let Landry go. I thought that was kind of, but things change. I get that. I get that. And it's time for a change now. It is definitely time for a change. Things that he's been doing ain't working. The things that he's been doing. I mean, you want back-to-back Super Bowls and you're going to fire the coach that got you there? That right there should let you know what you're dealing with, kind of. It does to me. I'm just like, okay, he's on some ego stuff, some ego trips. But Big Tiz dropped out. Big Tiz, come on back. While he's coming, is he back? Did he come back, ladies and gentlemen? Uh, Not yet. So let's look at some of these comments. Essence, what you talk about? Is the coach in any other position he wants? Bottom line. Let's see what Cheryl, Big Tiz, you there? Think he's having some technical difficulties over there. But Cheryl said Jerry is the owner. However, he thinks he is. He thinks he is the coach in any other position he wants. Bottom line, coach needs need an autonomy. I think that's supposed to be autonomy from the owner. And I think you're right, Cheryl. I believe it 1,000%. I think I don't think he needs to be in the locker room. Um, he needs to let the people he hire handle the things that he does. But when you give players that thing to go over people, they kind of messes up the chemistry and things. So, Essence, I know you got something to say because you always got something to say about the Cowboys. So, what do you got to say? Put it in the comments so I can see it. I see you over there like this. Hmm. And Tally Wifey, what are you saying no to? Give Trey Lance a chance? I agree with you 1000%. And I want to shout out to my cousin out there who made a comment. He don't want us to talk about the 49ers, but we about to get into 49ers. Oh yeah, we about to get into the 49ers. The 49ers lost, baby. And so did the Eagles. And the Cowboys won on this week. It was an ugly win, but it's a win. So let's talk about that. Who do y'all think the team is to watch for? The dark horse in the NFL right now. I think there are two teams out there, one in the NFC and one in the AFC, that you need to be watching out for, that are going to sneak up and kind of just disrupt everything that people have in their mind as far as Kansas City and San Francisco and the Eagles are concerned. And those two teams are, can I get a drum roll, please? Give me a drum roll. Yes! Detroit Lions, who is balling like they have never balled before. Or maybe they balled like that when Barry Sanders was in the league with them. But they are on a mission. Amon St. John, whatever his name is. I forget his name. But he is on a mission. The whole Detroit squad is on a mission. Jared Goff. Uh, years prior, I didn't think he had what he has now. This dude is focused. He's connecting. He's even scrambling. Jared Goff, I'm going to give you some kudos, man. You're leading your team. This is what Dak should be doing. You know, Detroit is on fire. And the other team, I'm going to get another drum roll for you guys. See if you agree with me. Leave it in the comments. Leave it in the comments. Other team who's balling, yes, from the AFC is the Cleveland Browns. What they did to Tampa Bay, the Buccaneers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is just mind-blowing. And I just got to say, those two teams, y'all watch out for. And y'all remember this show, Week 6 in the NFL, when I talk about Detroit and the Cleveland Browns, and those are the dark horses in the NFL that is going to come out and disrupt everything that we think as far as Kansas City, San Francisco, and the Eagles. It's going to be a disruption, and those are going to be the two teams that do it. I guarantee you that. But back to San Francisco. Ali, cuz, y'all didn't look too good, man. Purdy got exposed. Purdy got pressured, which he has never been under pressure like that. And he got exposed. And the question is, the real question now, which we all loved him. You know, he was Mr. Irrelevant. He became relevant, made it do what it do. But the question is, can he redeem himself from this loss? Can he regain his focus and come back and do what he needs to do? Or is this going to be a psychological battle that's going on in his head from now on? This is where champions are born, and this is where champions are bred. If they can overcome a disruption like that in their focus and get back to the games at hand, then it's going to be, I mean, I'll have the utmost respect for that dude. But that's where the question is, Ali. Can he do it, Ali? Put it in the comments and let me know, Ali. Come on. Put it down there and just let me know. Let me know. Doesn't look like Big Tiz is going to be making it back. So we're just going to finish this show. We're going to talk about the defense a little bit. The defense is doing what it did. Put pressure on Herbert. I know. But it wasn't like the game against the Giants and some other games that we played with the Patriots. It wasn't one sack, and that was at the end of the game. Justin Herbert with a broken finger was just really keeping it there with his team. I got to give them props for that, man. The question is though, are the Chargers really that good, or are the Cowboys not really that good? That is the question, because that was a battle last night. That was a back and forth Cowboy blow for blow battle. They scored. Let me just mention this. That came out. That Danny White look in his eyes. You know, the one I showed y'all last week. And we go 3-and-out. Justin Herbert, they get the ball, methodically goes downfield and scores at will. At will. But it appears that the Cowboys defense got some composure, because after that, we came back and scored, and then it was just kind of till we kicked the field goal. And then you know how the rest of the game went, but that game was ugly. And for the Cowboys, the status and the power rankings that they say we have, and where they put us, I'm worried. I'm worried. I want to know if any other Cowboy fans are worried out there, because I'm truly worried about it. It was just not the Cowboys that we know and love. And while it's a win, is this a premonition of what's more to come? I don't know. You guys tell me. You tell me. I don't know. Tally Wifey, are you still watching? The defense was horrible. Yes, the defense was just deplorable, if you will. I just didn't have anything to say about that. I mean, one sack. We did stop Eckler though. We did stop Eckler. I was hoping we had more pressure on the quarterback, which we did. It was the most he's ever faced, they say. But the score was what, 2017? It was so tight. The game was tight all night long. And I love my Cowboys. I love my Cowboys. Essence, where you at? Where are you? Any other? I love what you had to say, Cheryl. He's all of that, all the above, all the above. I thought Rod would come in tonight, but he's not here either. So come on back in and comment, and let me know your thoughts on what do you think the Cowboys should do. What do you think we ought to do? As far as, well, this week we're going to be off, so there's a lot of rest and mental relaxation, as well as mental refocusing that we need to really center on. I think we just need to ante up and do what we need to do. Let's show who we really are when we come back from this bye week. I don't know if we'll do it, but I'm hopeful, because I am a Cowboy diehard, always will be. And I just want to know what you guys think. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me your thoughts. So let me know in the comments, and we will do this again. All right, guys. Well, if we have no further comments to go on, we're going to get ready to end this tonight. I want to thank you all for chiming in. Thank you, Tally Wifey, for calling in and giving us a breakdown of the narrative of what the Cowboys are doing, what we need to do, and how we look out there. That was very, very informative for us. I think we need that too. Cheryl, thank you for that comment as well, about Jerry Jones. So that was informative. I think all of that. There's a lot that plays into a team. And when you put people in certain positions, you got to trust those people you put in those positions to get the job done. And if you can't trust them, then you shouldn't have hired them in the first place, is all I can say. And if you guys want to know what we're going to be doing in the coming months, check us out on Cowboy Nation Live, on YouTube, and on Facebook, also on Instagram and Twitter, which is now X. X, baby. And there's also, um, Tal told me about this. Facebook has like a Twitter thing too. A new thing. I forget what it's called. Thread. I think that's what it is. So that's pretty interesting. These social media platforms coming out, and but check us out. We'll be on them. And if you have anything, insight, if you want to be a part of the show, call in. If you want to be a part of the show, come on and talk, speak your mind about the Cowboys. Everyone's welcome. There's nothing but love here. Got nothing but love for the Cowboys, but I'm a realist, as you all know. I will speak on it. I will speak on what we did, what we didn't do, what we need to do, and what we need to do to be the champions we once were. Dak has put it out there that last night in the game they said it. I was like, wow. He said we will be in the Super Bowl this year. So okay. I know when people talk, and I know talkers. So if the actions don't line up, Dak, we can't be saying all of that. But I'm gonna still represent for you. Got my jersey on right here. Cowboys. Y'all see the back? Yeah. Y'all know who that is. Kenneth J, baby. But without further ado, I'm going to get ready to end this. So you guys, thanks for calling in tonight. Big Tiz, always welcome here. Thank you for coming in tonight and sharing your perspective and your narrative. And if you want to look for us, we'll be back same time next Tuesday night. But we'll be talking about other games in the NFL since we have a bye week. All right? So with that said, no further ado, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for chiming in with Cowboy Nation tonight. And we look forward to seeing you real, real soon. So good night, everybody.